Let me introduce you to four Americans living in four different decades. Robert Thompson, 68 years old, from suburban Chicago. Sarah Mitchell, 52 years old, from Atlanta. Tyler Brooks, 38 years old, from Austin, Texas. And Emma Rodriguez, 24 years old, from Seattle. Four different people, four different generations, four completely different financial situations. Four different people, four different generations, four completely different financial situations, but every single one of them made the exact same financial mistake, just disguised in different clothes depending on their era. By the end of this video, you'll recognize which version of this trap you might be living in right now. Robert Thompson, the baby boomer, 68 years old. Robert grew up in the 1950s and 60s, watching his parents rent a small apartment their entire lives. Back then, the ultimate symbol of success was clear: owning your own home with a white picket fence. In 1987, when Robert was 30, he got his first solid job as a regional sales manager. The bank approved him for a $180,000 mortgage, the biggest loan he could get. Without hesitation, he bought a beautiful four-bedroom colonial house in the suburbs of Chicago. "That's what you did back then," he says. "It was the American dream." For decades, it looked perfect. The house appreciated beautifully. Today, it's worth over $720,000, 4 times what he paid. On paper, Robert looks wealthy. But here's the harsh reality at 68. Most of his net worth is tied up in that house. His company pension was cut during the corporate restructuring in the late 90s. He only has about $180,000 in retirement savings. He needs roughly $1.2 million to retire comfortably for 25 to 30 years. Selling the house would mean leaving the neighborhood where he raised his kids and lived for 38 years. Robert isn't poor, but he's house rich and cash poor. He spent decades maintaining the appearance of success while underfunding his actual retirement. Sarah Mitchell, Gen X, 52 years old. Sarah is a marketing director in Atlanta. 2 kids in college, a husband who also works, and a combined household income of $165,000 a year. Sarah didn't make one big mistake. She made dozens of small, perfectly reasonable ones. Every time she got a promotion or a raise, her lifestyle quietly upgraded. Promotion at 32, upgraded from Honda to Lexus, hit 6 figures at 38, moved to a bigger house and a better school district, kids entered high school, added annual family trips to Europe and Disney World. Each decision felt earned. "We work hard. We deserve this," she told herself. This is classic lifestyle creep. Sarah and her husband now spend almost everything they earn. Despite making significantly more than her parents ever did, her savings rate has barely improved since her 30s. At 52, she has a nice home with equity and some 401k savings, but she's only 13 years from traditional retirement age, and the numbers are tighter than they should be for someone earning her income level. Tyler Brooks, millennial, 38 years old. Tyler graduated college in 2009, right in the middle of the Great Recession. He watched his older friends struggle to find jobs. He saw home prices crash, then skyrocket beyond reach. By the time he was 30, buying a house in Austin felt impossible. Traditional retirement felt like a joke, so Tyler made a decision that made perfect sense at the time. If I can't build wealth the old way, I'll live my best life now. He spent heavily on experiences, backpacking through Europe, music festivals every summer, brunch every weekend, multiple subscriptions, Netflix, Spotify, Peloton, HelloFresh. Treat-yourself purchases that added up. The culture cheered him on. Spend on experiences, not things. You only live once. Millennials can't afford houses anyway. At 38, Tyler has beautiful memories and thousands of photos, but almost no assets. He has about $28,000 in his 401k, no home equity, and a growing sense of anxiety every time he thinks about the future. Emma Rodriguez, Gen Z, 24 years old. Emma is the most financially educated person in her family. At 24, she already knows about index funds, Roth IRAs, compound interest, and FIRE, financial independence, retire early. She puts $180 into her Roth IRA every month and invests in VTI and QQQ. She's proud of it. But Emma has a different trap, one that lives online. Success for Emma isn't a house or fancy vacations, it's aesthetic. Her apartment must look perfect for content. Her tech setup, outfits, coffee table books, and Stanley Cup collection all need to look expensive and curated. She spends heavily on things that photograph well. Last month, she spent $340 on the new clothes for content, $180 on a new ring light and camera accessories, $120 on aesthetic home decor. Meanwhile, her actual investing is still relatively small. Emma isn't ignorant, she knows the numbers, but she's caught in the trap of performing wealth instead of quietly building it. The one trap every generation repeats. The trap isn't being bad with money. The trap is prioritizing the signal of success over the substance of real wealth. Baby boomers. A big house equals success. Gen X. A nice lifestyle equals success. Millennials. Amazing experiences equals success. Gen Z. A perfect aesthetic equals success. Every generation chases the version of arrival that their time period sold them and ends up looking successful while quietly falling behind on actual financial freedom. So how do you escape this trap? The people who break the cycle do one simple but difficult thing. They become willing to look less successful than they actually are, so their real wealth can grow faster. They drive the older car a few more years. They live in a smaller place. They take fewer but more meaningful trips. They resist the aesthetic upgrade. And they invest the difference. The golden rule? Build assets first. Upgrade lifestyle second. Not forever. Just until your assets are big enough to comfortably support the life you want. Final question for you. Which version of this trap are you currently in? The house that holds most of your net worth? The lifestyle that grows with every raise? The experiences that replaced building equity? Or the aesthetic that performs wealth instead of creating it? Tell me honestly in the comments. Naming the trap is the first step to escaping it. If this video made you think, share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next one.